Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. It's your boy Walter Doom back for another episode of Let's Talk About Horror, where your nightmares and reality meet. And I am in a different location right now, recording this podcast. Because timing. I got a day job, so it's like I don't know. For me, it's been hard to kind of like edit and record. So yeah, any episode that comes out, hey, who knows? Whenever I record it, honestly, I don't even know when this episode is going to come out. But all that aside of real world situations, how you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling good? Feeling great? Are you guys having a good summer? I know we are at the halfway point, and it just seemed like it came real fast. It's so crazy because it seems like just not too long ago we were talking about how the pandemic slowed up time by so much. And now we're in 2023, almost close to 2024, and we're almost close to this year ending and seeing like all the movies that came out for our horror community. So yeah, I just want to go ahead and do what I do every single year is go down a list of halfway point of movies that came out. Now, fair warning to everyone out there that are listening to this episode. These are movies that I have seen. So there are movies that are probably good that you guys probably like yourselves, but I have not seen it yet. Because it's either not on a streaming service, either it's not on Amazon, or I just have not had the time to watch it just yet. The movies that I do have on here right now are movies that I have actually watched personally and enjoyed. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this list of movies that I found good for this halfway point of this year. So, here are my top 7 movies. So I want to go ahead and start off with number 7, which is Shifted. I watched Shifted on, I believe this was a Screambox film. It's either out or it's about to come out. But I did an episode about the movie Shifted. And one thing I do like about this film is that I do like some of the characters that are in the film. Bill Winters and Derek are very good characters because Bill Winters has this whole mastermind tactician kind of character, chubby guy, like chubby guy in the movie, and he's given like all these skills and attributes that are just very positive that we usually see in like characters that look maybe like a little bit smaller than him or a bit muscular. At least for me, that's what I felt, and I felt like Bill Winters really did exemplify a character that you don't really normally see in that kind of like light as a character who is built like how he is. To see him go through like that whole zombie apocalypse on foot in the journey of trying to get to the dudes that killed his wife was amazing to see. Just to have him undeterred by the zombies that are passing by him. And for him to know how the zombies operate and some of their weaknesses and how they attack people. Yeah, the guy was a real huntsman to me. Very skilled and knowledgeable. Derek was a really good mastermind in the film. Even though, like, the spoiler, we do see him as the killer and we know that he's the killer. On first watch, I didn't believe that he was the killer, but I do know that he was someone who has killed before. But to see that he was the ultimate killer in the film is a bit of a spoiler, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Derek was using a lot of the characters in the film and was using them to his advantage to where he just wanted to be the lone survivor until he met Bill Winters. And even when he met Bill, I'm pretty sure he was trying to think of ways of how to manipulate him, and just to see that he was able to be successful in manipulating Bill and knowing some knowledge that Bill wasn't readily available to give away because he didn't trust the group, shows how good that character really is in that film. Now, some of the dislikes that I do have about this film, and this movie, it does have its flaws, which is why it's in my number 7 spot, which doesn't say much because there's probably like a lot of other movies that I didn't even put on here that probably should have been ranked higher, which I feel like some people probably do feel like it should have been. But the things that I do not like about this film is definitely the pacing. The pacing does feel a bit slow at times, especially when the characters aren't really going against the zombies, or they're just moving throughout the scenes in a very lackluster manner or uninteresting manner. There are unnecessary characters in the movie, like Hannah. I felt like the movie could have really progressed well without her, because in the end, I mean, the movie was more about like who is killing the group versus the apocalypse that is terrorizing the town that they're in. Um, Also, the last thing that I want to say that was very frustrating about this film is information that wasn't fully fleshed out, like the zombie infection. Like, we don't really know how the people in this movie are affected by the zombies or how people get turned into the zombies. I feel like it's possibly from the food that is made by the company A Corp that is in the movie, but that information was never fully explained to us as an audience. So, in a way, we're kind of left in the dark, just like the characters in the film. But overall, I enjoyed the film. I gave it a couple of watches, and this is why it's sitting at my number 7 spot. Number 6. I know this is going to be a controversial one, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are listening to this right now are probably like, no, Doom, why are you picking that movie? But I gotta say, man, I love Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, man. I mean, it's a quick watch. I love the fact that it's a quick watch. It's a great slasher film. It's silly. I mean, it's silly, and it's supposed to be silly. I mean, they literally took a movie that came off of the I forget what that shit is called, but the IP, like the IP became available to the public. Oh, it became available in the public domain. And just quickly, the people who made this film just really wanted to swipe this film up and just make a movie as crazy as possible. And I don't find fault in it. I mean, I love it. It's a interesting storyline to me. I mean, like Christopher Robin leaving Pooh and the friends alone to fend for themselves. I mean, like, what do you think would happen if Pooh, like think if they were kind of like real characters? And sorry, anybody that's like dealing with my mic issues. This is a different mic that I'm using that I regularly use. But yeah, think about if like Christopher Robbins were to leave Pooh in the gang where they were at just to fend for themselves, to kind of like live a life for themselves while he's journeying on his own. How do you think that would turn out? I mean, for those characters, it'll probably be hell. It will be hell for them. So I think for what they did with this film, I like it. I really do like it. I mean, it does come off as a bit Michael Bay close to the end with all the explosions that happen, but it is definitely a gory movie. If you like movies just for the sake of gore sometimes, or just slasher movies like Jason, Michael Myers, or even Victor Crawley, this is a movie to watch. I mean, yes, the storyline is goofy, but it's like it's forgivable. At least for me, it's forgivable. And I mean, I do love the fact that with Christopher Robin's like, "There's still good in you, Boo," and Pooh was like, "No." You know, I really do love that film. I mean, it's an exciting film for me. I mean, I definitely would watch it again if they put it on streaming services. But I feel like they're also going to make a sequel, which I'm not against. I'm really not against. Let's make a sequel of Pooh Bear killing everybody. I mean, we got the Bunny Man for crying out loud. So yeah, let's make Pooh Bear. Come on now. The only thing I would say that was bad about this film, and this is just for any like low budget films. I mean, and this is a very low budget film. I mean, it's poor film quality, a lot of practical effects. But those weren't the issues. The issues were the cuts. Sometimes the cuts were a bit amateurish, you know? It's like you'll see a cut in the scene, say like Pooh Bear is in one scene with like a gang of the characters that are in the film. You'll see them run off and you'll see Pooh Bear, you know, running after them. Somehow they go into a cut. Pooh Bear is like in an area that's in front of them, even though they had a head start lead before him. And I feel like that was the one thing that kind of like was awkward for me because I know I looked at a couple of scenes and was like, okay, this is awkward. Like, what's going on here? But I mean, that goes for like any film that's dealing with like low budgets and what have you. So, I mean, it's not anything that was major, more forgivable than anything else. But yeah, but right now, based on like the movies that I've watched so far, it's number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5 is The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. And I gotta say, I really do love this film. I mean, it was like a mix of Boys in the Hood with Frankenstein. It was a really good film. I like how they use the character Vicaria as like this bright student who is out of the box thinking, kind of like Victor Frankenstein. So I guess in a way they were trying to like find a way to make Victor, you know, a more female Afrocentric name, which is interesting. I didn't even notice that until I'm talking about it right now, honestly. But I like how they presented her in the film as a strong leading character. I do like the fact that they made the Frankenstein monster relative to like people's fears of just black people in general. I like how they used the teacher, how they had her undermine Vicaria's knowledge and just like her her overall skills, and how like the teacher was very disrespectful on her name by calling her Vicaria, you know, and that happens a lot. I mean, I know I've had a few teachers kind of messed up on my name a bunch of times, honestly, and it's ridiculous. I mean, as a black person, it does get frustrating to see people mess up on your name, and it's even if they don't even call you by like your actual name, it's ridiculous. And just to see the teacher kind of like go into that mode of going, well, I'm gonna just call you Vicky because it's easier, shows you the respect that she had for Vicaria and her name and as a person. The first thing I always think about, like how much of respect a person will have for you, is how much time they will take into knowing your name. And I didn't really learn that lesson until like adulthood, honestly. But it's facts, man. I mean, it's like if someone knows your name, first name, last name, how to spell it, how to pronounce it, that's just a one step of respect that they have for you. The next level is just like learning about your family life, meeting your family, knowing who they are, and just like it progresses on from there, you know? I mean, there's levels to this shit, you know? But yeah, I really do like the fact that they had that with Vicaria. I do like that this movie didn't hold back on some of the violence that was happening towards these characters too. Like just like how they killed that one little kid, I forget his name, but yeah, it was this one little kid who was getting involved in a gang in the neighborhood. I like how they used him and used his death as a catalyst for Vicaria to kind of like think about, you know what, I want to bring people back. I want to use like this knowledge for good. And I just want to see people, living again and not feel hurt by losing their loved ones. I do like they also have like a bit of trauma, just like how the dad dealt with losing Chris in the movie, the brother who becomes the monster in the film. I like how they took the character, the dad, and how he dealt with the trauma is going towards substance abuse and everything like that. So I do like that. I do like the depth that they have with the character Kango, who is supposed to be the gang leader in this movie, like the gang leader who sent Chris out to do whatever job it was in the movie that was never really fully explained. But I like the depth with him because he comes off as very monstrous because usually the monsters we see, and I do like it when the monsters are people. People like Patrick Bateman, Annie off of Misery, Billy Loomis on Scream. They're the monsters that make movies very interesting to me. So to see Kango, even though he's not literally the killer, he is still a monster. Kind of like Bishop in Juice. You know what I'm saying? So, to see like a monster being used like that, you get that feeling of like, okay, well, this guy is cold hearted because he sent the brother out to get killed. He is terrorizing Vicaria by having her do work for him and everything like that. And he is selling drugs to the dad just to keep his business going. Now, the thing I want to say about what I didn't like about the film was definitely the depth of Kango. And it's not that it was a bad thing that they used like a depth of like making him more human, and it's understandable that a lot of these characters aren't really like as bad as they are, but to make him more human, I mean, I could see like, it being a thing to kind of like sympathize with him, and that's okay. But the character Vicaria, for her to sympathize with him was strange after like all the trauma he put her through. And I mean, if I was that character, I would be like, oh, okay. Like I didn't understand why that character had to be sympathized a bit, but I guess movie had to movie, and that's another thing that was probably the thing that was weird for me. Was that there was no rival gang. Like, I understand Vicaria's beef with Kango, but who was the rival gang? Who was the gang that killed Chris? And that was never really fully fleshed out in the film or realized in the film. And I mean, I don't know if it was like a lack of casting or trying to get more people to be involved, but it was weird that Vicaria was going so headstrong hard on the gang Chris was in, than going against like the opposite gang that actually killed him. So it was a weird depth that happened in that movie. Also that I found bad, but I mean, I get like that it was necessary. I didn't care so much for the finish of the movie, like the end, the climax of the film. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because I feel like everyone should actually take the time to watch this film, but I didn't really so much care for like the ending of the film at all. But I understood why they had to have that ending because it made more sense to have that ending. But I don't know. For me, it felt more like when I was watching The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and how much it felt like a Disney movie in the end. Other than that, I mean, besides all that, it still sits at my number 5 spot. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break real quick. When I come back, we're gonna have the countdown from 4 to 1. So, like you shouldn't say in a scary movie, I'll be right back. And we are back. So this is another episode. Okay, let me stop trolling for a bit. But yeah, we are back now with the top 4 movies that I like from this year. And sorry, y'all, that I kind of changed up a bit. I had to switch. I ended up switching into a different area, something more soundproof, because I felt like there was too much of an echo and I didn't want people hearing me and shit. They can't get a sneak preview, you know? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the top 4 of the movies real quick, because I don't have too much time, honestly. Again, secret location, but um, but at my number 4 spot, I have Infinity Pool, and oh my god, I think this is the movie that made me feel like I really like Brandon Cronenberg. I mean, don't get me wrong. His father is good. David Cronenberg is cool and all that. I'm not too into his movies a lot, honestly. Scanners was alright. I mean, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I really can't say I'm a super Cronenberg fan. But his son? I mean, and I get like his son's movies are literally just offsprings of what Father Cronenberg does, but I feel like David has more movies that I feel like I could follow, relate to, and enjoy more. Especially with this movie Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool is fucking bonkers, yo. I swear. And I feel like I went through this whole first segment of this podcast without saying fuck so much or going on super tangents. I swear that's crazy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people's like, who the hell am I listening to? Am I listening to Doom right now? But anyway, yeah, I do enjoy Infinity Pool. Mia Goth, nigga, Mia Goth. That's all I gotta say is Mia Goth. She fucking kills it, and I really can't wait till Maxine comes out. I mean, just like the movie she killed, like X and Pearl, she does the same thing in Infinity Pool, playing this crazy ass woman named Gabby, who is, and I forget the dude that was in the film. It's one of the Skarsgård niggas, Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah, he's going through like all this fuck shit with fucking Gabby and everything like that. And oh my god, that character is insane. Like, oh man, I swear, like Mia Goth. I mean, if there is a chick with no eyebrows that I like the most, it would probably be her. But she really does exemplify some sex appeal within the film. Just like when she goes up to that character, that Alexander Skarsgård is playing, and she starts jerking him off after he takes a piss and all that. That was an insane scene. I'm like, hey, yo, what? I mean, she really went over to him while he was taking a piss, gave him a reach around, and I mean, oh my god, like, yo, that was like, whew, steamy. Yeah, I really did like that. I mean, I like some of the other things she was doing, like just gaslighting him, manipulating the character into doing different things for her, like breaking into the fucking, I forget whether it's like some government official, a judge, something like that. But they break into his house and they fucking kill him and all that. Insane. In fucking sane. And I mean, just the thought of like cloning, like, because this movie does heavily dip into the arc of like, clones and everything like that. There's a lot of fear about people fearing cloning and everything like that. And if you have ever feared being cloned before, this movie will not help you at all. I'll just tell you right now. This movie will literally like increase your fear of being cloned by 1,000%. And it gets to a point where I do like in the film there is an existential crisis with Alexander Skarsgård's character where he just wonders like, okay, am I me or am I a clone? And that's definitely me. I mean, I will fear if I were cloned, am I me? I mean, of course, I would know I'm me, but if there was like a way to switch consciousness or, whatever, especially since these clones have your consciousness, your memories, and everything that go with you, for that clone to have everything, the only thing that's happening is that clone, quote unquote, is being killed and not you. Makes you wonder, like, okay, did I really get killed or did the clone get killed? I don't know, man. I mean, it may be like an irrational fear to have. People are probably listening to this and probably like going, "Dude, what are you talking about, bro?" But I mean, clearly, it's a fear. It's a fear to have. I do like the fact that they do touch on the fact that a lot of this entertainment that is going on in this movie is just rich people's entertainment. With them, at one point, they take Alexander Skarsgård's character, clone him without him knowing that, and have him fighting against itself. That was an insane scene, honestly. And then you learn by the end of the movie that they're doing this for all their entertainment. Like they're just doing this for entertainment purposes. And it just makes me think about like, and this is really dark, but makes me think about slavery days when the masters used to just have slaves fight each other for entertainment. And I mean, the same thing could be said about things like boxing or UFC in a way. Those things could be just a form of slavery. And I'm not even trying to be deep or anything, but those things could be a form of rich people's entertainment at the end of the day. But a couple of things that I did not like about this film. Not enough M. Not enough M. Played by Cleopatra Coleman. I mean, she was in there for like, I want to say 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes of the movie, and then she was gone. She didn't really play a prominent role at all in the film. I don't know why she was there, except to just be a wife to Skarsgård's character, but she was nowhere nearly as like a prominent character in the film. She was more of a third character in a way, like a third party character. Not really that important. Another thing that I wish that they had more in the film was more orgy scenes. I mean, I know with the unrated version, there's supposed to be like a minute longer of the orgy scene. But come on, man, let's get more of them things in that film. There was so much sexual tension between Gabby and Skarsgård's character. I'm like, yo, let's go full on. Let's like get a little more orgies going on. Let's see them be a golf titties, bro. Like, but yeah, they need more of those. But I mean, this could be me trolling right now. But yeah, overall, this movie is well deserved to be in its This movie is well deserved to be in its number 4 spot. I really do love this film. Coming in at number 3 is the Cocaine Bear. Yes, bro. I love this fucking movie. I love the documentary that they had to go along with it when it came out on Peacock. I do love that they were using real life theories about Drew Thornton and what he was doing with the cocaine and drugs in general, because he dealt more than just cocaine. He dealt marijuana also, but he dealt cocaine because it became more popular during the time when he was selling it. But yeah, I do like the movie does center around Drew Thornton, the guy who caused the Cocaine Bear incident, and they made a story based on just the bags that he was throwing out and the bear who ingested the cocaine and died off of it. Um, Another thing that I do like Margot Martindale's character who played Ranger Liz. And I mentioned this before. I love Margot Martindale. I love her in BoJack Horseman. That is where I know her the most. I'm not too familiar with like a lot of her works, but I do love the fact that she was in BoJack Horseman and she was just this hilarious character actress, in the show. I do love Henry. Henry was very entertaining. I mean, he was probably the only kid that was really entertaining in the movie. Dee Dee, she was all right, but Henry was the one who stole the show, especially when he was talking about the bear. That dude was in the tree. He's like, it was a bear, and he was totally fucked. That shit had me dying. I swear. I love the movie. It was entertaining. My girl hates the movie though. She really hates it. As much as I love talking about it, she really hates it. She's just like, the movie is just all right. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Cocaine Bear is amazing. I'm pretty sure y'all have a movie that annoys your partner all the time. You're just like, oh my god, I just love Scream 6, and they're just like, it's all right. Speaking of Scream 6, that is what comes in number 2. But as far as Cocaine Bear and things that I dislike about it, I didn't really like the ending that much, honestly. I mean, it was a lackluster ending. Feels like it had a bit of sizzle in the end, as my boy Enoch Mortis would say about it. The ending was, yeah, I didn't like the fact at the end, they brought in like the Cocaine Bear kids. We find out that Cocaine Bear is a mother bear and all that. And yeah, it just felt too Hollywood for me, like Hollywood written for like happy endings and shit like that. But as far as like everything else in the film, I really do like. But moving on to number 2, which is Scream. And oh my god, I fucking love Scream. And just like the one that came out the year before, it's like, what's not to like about the new Scream movie? Yes, Scream 5 was a return to like the Wes Craven classic, the classics of like just repeating everything from the original film to kind of bring the audience up to speed on like what a requel is, or just like a requel sequel that's a reimagining of the first film. But this sequel though, nigga, this sequel ups the ante on just like the gore, the misdirections, and just the characterizations of the surviving cast from the first film. I mean, first off, let's talk about this misdirection though. Like, when I say I was confused and I did not know who the hell the killers were, it was mind boggling. When they finally revealed the killers, we did not just have one killer. We had not just two killers. We had a whopping 3 fucking killers in this film. I cannot remember the last time there was 3 killers in a Scream movie. I don't think there ever been three killers in a Scream movie before. But to see three killers in a film, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I was trying to figure out who the characters were and what their connection to the first film was going to be. But oh my God, that fucking twist was something I was not ready. I was not ready for this twist at all. And again, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because this one is something that y'all really do need to watch if you have not watched it yet. Definitely on Paramount Plus. We could talk more about it, or I could talk more about it later on about my feelings about these character reveals and everything like that in a later episode. But for now, this was the movie of this year. Um, I do like the fact that it's a little bit more violent and you do see more trauma within the characters and how they're dealing with the first attack in the first film. So I feel like we don't get enough of like seeing the trauma behind the characters like in the second film. Yeah, there is the trauma of Nev Campbell's character not trusting any other guy that comes in contact with her or just anybody in general. But I feel like in this second movie, you see more trauma not only with Samantha, but you see it with Jenna Ortega's character also, and everyone else that are in the film. You know, they dealt with the trauma of the Woodsboro killings in their own way. The thing that I don't like about this film, it wasn't as mean spirited as other Scream films are. I feel like, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but just who survives in the film, I wish they took more time in actually not caring who survives. I mean, I'm not gonna reveal who got killed, how they got killed, or who didn't get killed, but I do feel like there should have been more people killed from the main cast than what was actually in the film. I I guess they're trying to make more of some type of series legacy, whatever. Maybe there's a Scream 7 on the way. I mean, you know, they want to keep these people in the film as much as possible. But I feel like they need to go with how the original Scream and Scream 2 went with their characters. Kill those motherfuckers off. We were all crushed when we saw the homie Randy get killed. It was so traumatic. I still remember that killing to this day. And what makes it fucked up is that bro got killed on campus, broad daylight. How fucked up can one killing be? To get killed in broad daylight. I'm just saying, man. I mean, that's the homie, man. So yeah, I mean, I was upset about him survive. Not him surviving, but I was upset by him not surviving, and I'm sort of upset with like the characters in this film. Certain characters still surviving. I'm not gonna name who or what or whatever, but one character I do want to still add that is a survivor that I was really upset about, like, well, not really upset, but it makes me upset with the script, is that Gail Winters is still fucking living. Like, goddamn, how the fuck do you kill this bitch, bro? Like, this bitch is more lethal than the cockroaches in New York, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this this, this woman is a new breed of species. I swear, it is impossible to kill Gail Winters. Another fucking Scream movie with Courtney Cox. Great. And I mean, I'm not really upset about Courtney Cox. She's cool, but I liked her more in the old school Scream movies with her, going at it with Sidney Prescott and everything like that. But I really don't care for her with this new cast, honestly. Just kill her off already. I mean, they were not hesitant to kill David Arquette. I swear that motherfucker's death was brutal, and it hit all of us in the feels. I mean, if you didn't feel anything about Dewey getting killed, there's something wrong with you. But to see fucking Gail Winters still in this motherfucking movie, just kill her already. But anyway, I want to move on to number one because I feel like I went on too much of a tangent with this film. But number one is none other than Evil Dead Rise. I mean, come on, could there be any other obvious number one film? I mean, what's there not to like about this fucking film? Oh my god, the characters, the sound design, the effects, the oh my god, the practical effects, the opening scene. Oh my god. Yes, and not only that, the fucking fusion monster of the family. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Them stuck in a high-rise apartment in LA and they're trying to figure out a way out to get out of that motherfucker. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, oh my god. This was the movie of the year. I've heard some people call it overrated, but I mean, I guess if it's overrated to you, maybe because it got too much hype. But this movie was the best movie I've seen this year by far. I mean, before it was Cocaine Bear, but then I saw Scream, and then I saw Evil Dead, and I was like, you know what? Evil Dead got this shit off the back, you know? And I really don't have anything negative to say about Evil Dead at all. I mean, I think Lee Cronin did his thing. Sam Raimi, he picked the right guy. Fucking, damn, I don't know how I can't figure out this nigga's name right now. The dude that plays Ash, I'm blanking out on his name so much right now. It's embarrassing right now. So, I mean, I'm pretty much going to leave this in here because I want y'all to yell at me later on about like how the fuck you can't remember his name. But yeah, Ash, Sam Raimi doing their thing, picking out people to direct these films, and they are good with picking these people who are remaking the film and making it better. Because I am a fan of the Fede Alvarez Evil Dead movie. I really did like that one. I watched it maybe a couple of weeks after seeing Evil Dead Rise after my episode with Enoch X Mortis. Um I do like the first Evil Dead movie. Evil Dead 2 was alright. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people love Evil Dead 2. I just think it's more alright to me. I like the first one more than the second one, but I mean, the second one is just entertaining. It's really entertaining and fun. Whereas the first one is a little bit more serious, but for me, I do kind of like the original movies that have lower budgets and they kind of do more with the film under that lower budget. You know what I'm saying? But um yeah, those are my top 7 movies. So yeah, I mean, just going down the list again at number 7. And I'm sorry for anybody that's dealing with this mic, but I swear it's like a mic I don't usually use, but secret location. But yeah, at number 7 we have Shifted. Number 6 we have Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. At number 5 I have The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Number 4 is Infinity Pool. Number 3, Cocaine Bear. number 2, Scream 6, and number 1, Evil Dead Rise. Alright? So if any of y'all have any like movies that you thought should have been on this list, yeah, just put it in the comment if you're listening to this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on your way to work or just in the car, in the whipping it up, yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram, those Instagram DMs and shit like that to tell me, Doom, why did you pick those movies? No, you idiot. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and take a break real quick. And when I come back, I will have the Slasher Corner for y'all. So be right back.
Now get my way, bitch.
Alright, y'all, welcome to the Slasher Corner. And as you know, I have a Slasher Corner movie of the week. So this week, I want y'all to check out Evil Dead Rise. It is on HBO Max. Obviously, for obvious fucking reasons. I have no other reason to pick another movie except that one because of obvious reasons. But anyway, this has been another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. It's your boy Walter Doom signing out. If you want to follow me on the social medias, them social medias are Walter Doom on Instagram, the Walter Doom on Twitter. I don't even know if I should keep that motherfucker, by the way. Elon is fucking that shit up. But anyway, the Walter Doom on Twitter, the Walter Doom on TikTok, Walter Doom anywhere else that's involving streaming, all streaming platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually Walter Doom Horror on YouTube because they're doing some weird shit now. So Walter Doom Horror. I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking about like maybe I should just change it to Walter Doom Horror on all platforms. Make that shit easier. Maybe I should do a poll of that. I'm just saying, bro, like, this shit is, like, irritating, yo. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure some of y'all are like, damn, Walter Doom, like, okay, Walter Doom this, Walter Doom that, okay. Nigga, can you keep one? Just one. I need you to pick one, Doom. Just one. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about doing a poll soon, maybe to see what y'all think, and I'm pretty sure by the time I do this poll, this episode will probably already dated and old. But anyway, it's your boy Walter Doom signing out. This has been another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. This is America. Don't let them catch you slipping now. Stay diabolical, people. Have a good weekend, rest of the week, vacation, whenever the fuck you're listening to this. Peace.